Welcome, 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 welcome to Be the Shift, our 7-day challenge of sacred prompts. The challenge comes in when you take the tools and apply them to your everyday life. It's just that simple. We are not overcomplicating it. The challenge is when you challenge yourself to think different, to respond different, to show up different, when you embrace your difference. Shift is something that people talk about all the time, but oftentimes we don't talk about how to shift when shift is happening. Shift is happening on the planet. Shift is happening every day. There's another bit of news, information, because we have to remember that we are about to spend the next 19 years with Pluto in Aquarius. There is going to be one shift after another that affects humanity. But as the collective consciousness is shifting, as paradigms begin to shift in terms of our money and our economy, as paradigms begin to shift in how we do family business and relationships, as paradigms begin to shift through revelation of things that we did not know, how can you stay in the place of shift without getting caught up, without becoming overwhelmed? This is the season to shift. And oftentimes people talk about shifting the atmosphere. But as soon as something outside happens, you then get overwhelmed. A lot of people talk spiritual language, but don't have real tools to integrate when ish happens, when the ish hits the fan. So this is what this challenge is meant to it's my love offering to my community. It's my love offering to friends and family, because oftentimes we talk about it, but we ain't about it. Now that's a tweetable or a threadable. We talk about it, but we're not about it. And it's easy to go along with everybody who's afraid. It's easy to slip into patterns of worry and fear when you have the news talking about closures and hurricanes and uprisings and 800 generals going to Quantico, and one thing after another. Greetings, everybody that's coming in and saying thank you. I appreciate you all for coming in and letting me know that you're here. Please make sure that you share. Shout out to my good girlfriend who is all the way in Ghana. In fact, let me shout out your cities. I'm trying to keep it, timeless, because if you're just joining the challenge, we've been going. Today is day 6. Refine your success. So I'll go over a quick review of the sacred prompts that you may have missed. I think I did a review on yesterday, but it's worth doing it again. On day 1, we questioned the norm. What belief have I inherited that no longer fits me? On day 2, we embrace the inner rebel. Where have I been playing it safe to avoid judgment? Day 3, lead without labels. How would I lead if nobody would label me or could label me or put me in a box? What's up, Lillian from Memphis? Day 4, own your difference. What makes me different in a way that's actually my superpower? Oftentimes these are the things. Okay, nope, I'm not teaching day 4 again. You're going to have to go and watch the video. I'm not teaching anything but day 6. And day 5, ask bold questions. What truth am I afraid to speak out loud? So this is an opportunity for you to get your journal. Go back. We launched with our 7 a.m. mothership prayers. We made our private circle in our portal community. We made those prayers available in here today in the public to launch this challenge. And boy, it was spirited. We really went into a very sacred space. So do tap in if you can. So today, where are we? We're talking about redefining success. See, I know that there's a lot happening in the since 2020. It's been a lot happening in the area of income, work, livelihood. Yes, income, work, livelihood. Somebody drop that in the chat. Income, work, livelihood. Income, how we get our money is about to change. In fact, we won't be so identified through what we do. We have become such a society that is so driven by capitalism and corporate greed that in the West, people live to work. And when I remember when I moved abroad, the first thing people asked me, what do you do for work? Not what do you do for income? And, the industrial revolution is the thing that killed farming. People didn't go to work. Thank you. Thank you for those of you. Yes, yes. Income, work, livelihood. Income, work, livelihood. How? Because this is how many of us have defined, have attached our identity. So when I lived abroad, and when those of you who have lived abroad, you know that what I'm talking about. There are not only are there siestas, but people do not talk about work or centered on work or the identified just by what you do. When I lived in the DMV, when I was single and dating, if a man came up and asked me, what do you do? We already know in the DC area, they're trying to assess how much money you make, where do you live, who do you know? When people don't come to connect with who you are, they're assessing oftentimes in many of these cities. But anyway, I didn't come to go there. Wait a minute, let me slow down. I didn't come to teach like that. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. We're being called to shift into sovereign status, self-sustainability. That means that we may have to revisit Ubuntu. I am because you, we are because I am, you are because we are connected. We may have to revisit cooperative economics, not just during Kwanzaa. We may have to revisit family banking and own homesteading together, family compounds. Okay, let me keep going. This is shift season. So the sacred prompt today is, what does success look like on my terms? What does success look like on my terms? Can I unpack this? Let me know if I can unpack this. Because many women are tapping into our masculine energy because we are using old, outdated metrics, constant hustle, external validation, and patriarchal milestones to determine our success. It's so interesting to me that people who come into entrepreneurship you're still using the Western Eurocentric way of doing business to measure your worth or whether you have made it. In other words, the day of people coming online showing their check stubs to say, look, I made $10,000 in 1 hour, so you need to sign up with me. That's a manipulation hustle. It feeds, I want what you have. And so many people sign up and take the bait because I want what you have, rather than it being a sacred call. Can I go further? Can I go a little deeper? Can we walk through this a little bit? Every day it unpacks this the sacred prompts so that you can really take it into your journaling, take it into your prayer time, How do I shift? I'm going to give some more shift tools, but right now in this, we're just talking about sacred prompts right now. Success is not a ladder. The truth is, success is a circle. It always has been a circle. Success is a garden. Success is a medicine wheel. The linear grind is collapsing. Working harder, faster, longer, and alone is falling down. These are the old systems that are falling down. That system is built for machines and bots, not for soul-bearing women. Women who are called to be the priestess of your own household, to return to becoming and being the medicine woman to your family, to your marriage. In other words, the feminine leader, and I'm sorry, I'm not leaning out and away from men who are leading, but the feminine leader has to look at building a new model of work that does not burn you out, exhaust your adrenals, leave you empty and unavailable. And then you talk about failed relationships, children who can't stand you, because somewhere we lost the honor of family. Even if it got lost by your elders, it's not our job to just sit around and blame, because the shift is you are big mama. The shift is you are big papa. Are you hosting family dinners? Are you calling the family together? And if you cannot do it in your family, it may be that you are the one to become the cultural custodian, to remember the truth of your ancestral line, your lineage. You are the one that's supposed to restore the memory and do the healing work to make yourself free of old programs, old responses, old patterns. That's who. You waiting for somebody, you want a recommendation, you waiting to be saved, and you may be the one anointed to be the Christ consciousness in your family line. Anyway, let me keep going. For real, the family business really was the family ministry. The family is the first enterprise. If we look at at how many families run America, there are families, and it's out of balance, the 1%. So success requires a new vision and new agreements, not for you to be a gatekeeper trying to hold this system in place. Let it fall. Let it fall. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Hey. So what would success look like if you included your joy, your rest? What if the wealth stopped being transactional relationships? Come on, somebody. When I say sovereignty, I'm talking about creating outside of the system that you have known. I promise you, it is an unlearning required. I'm in it too. When I talk about sovereignty and standing and asking you to redefine success, are you owning your gifts? Are you marginalizing your gifts? I'm sorry, I got a new puppy, y'all. I'm looking for a puppy. She's like an escape artist. Oh no, she's right here. Sorry. She's right here by mommy's chair. Okay. And sharing resources with integrity. Those of you who go into people, I got to talk about it. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to say it. I don't normally say this, but I got to say it. Those of you who go into people's programs and steal intellectual property and then hang out a banner and call it your own, this is a season, honey, where us, all are reaping what you sow. That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll talk about it in the unpacking session. Because why? Sovereignty is also practicing interdependence. We've been raised to be independent. The most oppressed group of people kick their children out at 18 and tell them to make it on their own. And if they don't make it on their own, people in the family are talking about them, that they failed. When other people are migrants are coming over here and practice doing susus, practicing cooperative economics, and I get a house, you get a house. We get a house, they get a house. And before you know it, they own the block. They'll come and fix up something. Come on now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wait a minute. Am I going too long? Okay. Yep. This is quick. We in and out of here. Releasing hustle culture. Do y'all see hustle culture falling down? All London bridges falling down, falling down. Why does it say, my fair lady? Hustle culture. And I must say, y'all know we did the multi-generational show on Shift Talk. You millennials, y'all introduced us to hustle culture. The millennials blame Gen X for messing up the economy so that they don't have a retirement. So they found a solution, called us out and boomers out. But now the hustle culture has your adrenals exhausted, having women dating and performing like men. But let me keep going, child. Let me keep going. This is just a sacred prompt. This is not a workshop or a teaching. I'm getting excited. I got some energy from somewhere. So what does your definition of success include? Who was your model for success? We were never meant to climb to the top alone. That's a colonial, patriarchal template that often leave women publicly successful and privately feeling insignificant. Luther said, a house is not a home if there's no one there. Ha! When I turn the key, a new success model is rising, y'all, but the old one has to fall. Chaos. Do you know that the goddess, the real goddess who's tapped into her shadow work, is masters chaos? Order is born out of chaos. So let's just start with the truth. Be honest. Most of us were taught about success. It was rooted in capitalism. It was rooted in patriarchy. It was rooted in individualism. It was rooted in burnout. It was rooted in gender wars. Feminism is not femininity. Feminism is not the divine and sacred feminine. I said what I said. New success equals sacred and shared energy. And it's not going, you can't wait on your church to do it. They are part of the institutional system. You can't wait on your governmental to do it. They benefit. The government is supposed to say, oh, let me hush. I came in here for sacred prompts. Let me keep going. Okay, let me keep going. Describe the shift into sovereign work that honors your body, honors your spirit, supports your family, and creates a legacy to leave something. We're leaving people GoFundMe plans. Do I have to say more? Talk about a family business and roles. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. This is what I meant to say earlier. It's not easy because it requires a lot of self-reflection, evaluation, and responsibility. It requires atonement in the breakdown of relationships. It requires forgiveness. I want to close with this when we talk about success. It's funny how the family business roles, right, come up. Our ancestors had trades. They had family businesses. The farming was not just a single person's job. If you know anything about homesteading, it is round the clock. We've been separated and sold a solo dream. It's time to return to some basics. And what's happening is all of the institutions that have made us so comfortable and sometimes arrogant about not needing anybody, not telling the truth, not even feeling safe in your family to ask for anything. Come on now, am I walking down your street? Success includes sharing responsibility or delegation. Success is ceremony. Success is co-creative energy. This whole shift everything process is literally just an introduction to learning to become a reality creator, creating your reality, practicing creating the reality that you desire to see. Ibaye to my brother Ron Davis, who taught me tools of reality creation every morning. I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning for our sessions, and he would throw sacred prompts to me and give me scenarios of how I would respond. If my response was typical, he would challenge me to see it another way. Energy sovereignty takes unplugging from what everybody else is saying. Just because group think majority is going with it does not mean that it's true. Can you stand alone when you don't know? You don't have to jump on anybody's trend. But back to success. Learning to share in family and community again means new conversations around power, around money, around responsibility and boundaries. And if you're saying that there's been too much breakdown in your family, do the inner work for yourself and create and build with people. Oh, I got to quote Tamara Baskin if she's watching. She says something so powerful. This is why it's so good to be in community. She says something so powerful. Tamara, are you here, babe? She said, sometimes she told them, I'm not telling her business. Wait a minute. She said, just because we're relatives does not mean we're family. Baby, that right there was mic drop. Mic drop. Just because we're relatives does not mean we're family. The family are people you can ceremony with. Family are people you can heal with. Family are people that you can forgive. Family are people that care. That's my new baby. Sorry, she has a voice. Family are people who can see you. Not you, the wounded you, the little you, the disempowered you. Family are people you can build something with. Family are curious about how you got over, why you don't look like what you've been through. So I'm telling you, girl, you set me free. And you set somebody else free. I thank you, Tamara, for that. And so listen, I invite you to join us in the portal. As soon as we end this, we're good. Those who are members in the portal, we're going to unpack this to see where you had a belly leap, right? This is an opportunity for you to get in the portal now so that you can even get the special access to the Shift Everything Challenge, which will be available for this month of October for you to kick off your shiftability. Somebody put shiftability in the chat. Shiftability. Come on now. This is to feed your shiftability. We must reimagine work not as a burden, but as a sacred exchange, a way of creating life-affirming wealth that does not cost us our spirit. This quote comes from Dr. Nia Amara, the Sovereign Society lecture. She is an astrophysicist, a visual artist. So those of you who think that your cerebral profession has to be the only thing that you do, there are some of you who have art in you. Dr. Amara is an astrophysicist, and she is a visual artist who integrates spiritual awareness into her academic community work. She reflects the archetype of the cosmic builder. Okay. One last quote. True success is not an accumulation of things, but it is a return to wholeness. And that is from Reverend Angel Kyodo Williams. So join us in the portal. Get into, look, the 21-day shift everything can be a refresher for those of you who are metaphysicians, energy workers, those of you who are into your personal development. You can shift everything because everything is shift. Yes, shift ability. Shift ability. You have shift ability. I don't care what they say. I don't care what's going on right now, y'all. I have three family members who have dire reports, and I had to keep shifting to show up. Sometimes we let the winds blow. The winds blowing on these dry bones in the valley. Shall they live again? When the wind blow, don't make me preaching here, when the winds blow on the dry bones in the valley, do you lay down or do you stand up taller? All of us are being tested in this season of shift. Holy shift. Come on now, put that in the chat. Holy shift. Listen, let that be our code word. If I post something on Facebook or Instagram and it walks down your street and you feel it in your spirit, just let me know you were here in this 7-day paradigm shifting prompts, sacred prompts, holy shift. Sometimes that's all we can say when you know that spirit is calling you higher, to think different, to get to neutral. Holy shift. Because the holy shift is you. I love you. There is nothing you can do about it. I went a little longer today. The other sacred prompts are only about 15 minutes. And so we're coming to a close. We have one more day tomorrow. And I'm in a holy shift every hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. The way that things are shifting around me, I know that only something good can come out of these shifts, because I'm good. You're good. We're good. And God don't make no junk. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you. Join us in the challenge. Join us in the portal. Come. The link is in my bio. Just scroll down below this description. See y'all on Zoom in a minute.